What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for another Top 10 Countdown. Today I'm looking at the pop rock star Avril Lavigne. She was one of the first pop artists that I ever got into, and that was thanks to this. Instead of Skater Boy rocking up MTV, she was rocking up Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I heard Skater Boy, which is not in my top 10, but I swear to God, it would come in at number 11 if I was doing a top 20. This is a song that really captured my attention, and I liked her look as well. It was different from a lot of what I imagined pop stars to look like at the time. You had Britney Spears, the Backstreet Boys, everything like that, which the Backstreet Boys were on Sabrina the Teenage Witch too. Weird. I love the fact that Avril Lavigne seems so genuine, and the way that she put her heart and soul and emotion into the music, it made her first two albums just classics in the world of 2000s pop to me. While she strayed from her roots on albums that followed like The Best Damn Thing and Goodbye Lullaby, I still always found songs on every album that I thoroughly was entertained by and kept coming back to years later. And with Avril Lavigne, albeit our first two albums are great, after that, I don't really consider her as much of an album artist. I get into a lot more of the singles and a few of the deep cuts here and there, but I'm hoping that her new album that's supposedly just around the corner is going to be the return to roots that she's promising. The top 10 that you're seeing today is based on nothing other than the fact that these are my 10 personal favorite Avril Lavigne songs, not yours, so let me know yours in the comments section down below. Other than that, if you're able to support me on Patreon, it would be greatly appreciated. It's the top link down below. I now have a Patreon exclusive podcast that you can unlock for just $5 a month, so please hit up that top link in the description down below if you're able to. Be sure to leave a like on this video, and here is my number 10 pick, Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll is a cut from the self-titled 2013 Avril Lavigne. What I love about this song, and the music video as well, is the fact that it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's fun, it's funny, it's lighthearted, and that's what I miss about so much of pop music. Now, everything is so serious. There's a sense of like now all about it. And Rock and Roll, it's just about having fun with friends. And that's how I felt about a lot of Avril's early music. So that only spelled good things for me. And while overall I was disappointed in the self-titled record, there are some great songs on there, but it was very inconsistent, I absolutely love this one. I love the obvious rocking guitars on this one. It should have been a much bigger hit, but of course guitar-driven music doesn't really make it on the radio, especially not electric guitar-driven music. It's too loud, it's too crazy, yet we have all this other loud, obnoxious stuff clogging the airwaves. Rock and Roll is a fantastic song, one that is so easy to sing along with, and it reminds you of the best moments of Avril, the reason probably why you like her in the first place. I bet you can't guess what soundtrack this one's off of. That's right, Alice from Alice in Wonderland that came out in 2010. This was a single that was later included on the deluxe edition of Goodbye Lullaby, but I love the original version. There's an extended version on Goodbye Lullaby, but I'm perfectly okay with the original one here. It is a very odd song. It has these melodramatic pianos, but I like the fact that it strays from her normal approach to a song. And that build up as she starts to sing Can't Stop Me Now, the vocal fluctuations, it really just shows off how powerful of a voice that she absolutely has, what a great vocal talent that she is, and over the years, she's only grown in that regard. And a song like this and its oddities and charm remind me of that. This is the best feeling. This innocence is brilliant. I hope that it will stay. This moment is perfect. I'm just putting it out there, I think Avril Lavigne's ballads are some of her absolute best songs, and here from the Best Damn Thing that was released in 2007, hard to believe it's been that long at this point, but we have a song called Innocence. It's one that starts off with a really nice piano, very gorgeous keys, and then her voice really just shines in on this one, and as the song comes to life, it reminds me of something like the band version of My Immortal by Evanescence, because it has that growth and expansion to it, and not that it has that huge just burst of energy like My Immortal does, but a song like this doesn't necessarily need that because it still has that glow to it and a charm all these years later. And I love the fade out at the end, the way the song has such a delicate intro and such an entertaining middle section. This is one of the best songs from the Best Damn Thing, that's for sure.
It's not like you to say sorry. I was waiting on a different story. This time I'm mistaken for handing you a breaking. And I've been wrong, I've been down and to the bottom of every bottle.
How You Remind Me is actually a cover of a song by Nickelback. Silver Side Up was the name of that album. It came out in 2001, and she covered it on a bonus deluxe edition of her self-titled album in 2013. Most of you watching the video probably know that she was at a time married to Chad Kroeger, the lead singer and the main writer for Nickelback, and he worked on her self-titled record with her and even appears on one of the songs that we're going to get to in just a minute on this very list. But I love that she covered this one with such a delicate spirit. It's a different approach to the song that makes it stand out. Oh man, elementary school, those were some rough times. I tell you what, Complicated though is a song that still gets me because I love it so much. It's so 2000s in the best way. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, that was such a time where everything was different. I'm saying it was such a time that was different in the best way possible because I miss those mannerisms and the way that people were. Things were just seemingly more genuine back then, and a song like this really just put that out there. It's one where she saw herself kind of catching feels for a guy, and then he's acting differently around friends and that sort of thing, and Avril was still going through her kind of skater punk phase at this point, and I really like the song in general because it stands up so much taller than contemporaries of the time. A song that actually has meaning is always going to stand out more to me than a song that was just a quick cash grab or something that was meant to just be played on the radio. The hardest thing about the change between 2004's Under My Skin and 2007's The Best Damn Thing was the presence of the attitude in The Best Damn Thing. It was so different, and it was so cocky, playful, yes, and not really having all that much meaning to it. But just 3 years after Under My Skin and 5 years since Let Go came out, an album like that just really changed things. And I love Don't Tell Me. This is from Under My Skin. It's a song where she talks about not wanting to give it up right away and a guy trying to pressure her into it, and she sings angrily about just getting out of here, like having to kick somebody's ass if they're gonna try and force that on her. And then just a couple of years later, she's singing about sex and just being kind of promiscuous and all these other things, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It just seems like she kind of lost a lot of herself once producers like Dr. Luke unfortunately signed on to her projects.
Have you forgotten everything that I wanted? Do you forget it now? You never got it. Do you get it now? Yeah.
Hopefully that jogged your memory on Forgotten, a song that I do feel like tends to get forgotten in Avril's discography. This is another cut from Under My Skin in 2004, and one that feels very, very cinematic to me. There's just a mishmash of instrumentation that is very heavy, but it backs off during the verses, but then the chorus just roars to life. So much of a vivacious spirit was felt here, and anger, bitterness, everything like that. Avril feels jaded on this song, and it's another amazing cut from this record. It might go down as my favorite Avril Lavigne album, honestly, because overall, there are so many songs. As I was listening through her discography to prepare for this top 10, there were so many songs on that album that stood out to me, and Forgotten is definitely my favorite track from that record, and it's one that is stood out because it is a deep cut, and it was an album that overall seemingly didn't just focus on the singles, and I love it whenever a pop album, especially a mainstream pop rock album, is able to pull off something like this.
I was left to cry there, waiting outside there, grinning with the lost stare. That's when I decided, why should I care? 'Cause you weren't there when I was scared. I was so alone.
Rewinding another few years back, we have Losing Grip. This is the opening track on Let Go, and one that I have been listening to for 15 years almost at this point. That is insane to think about. This is one of my first pop albums that I ever had my hands on, and it did come out 15 years ago. I got it a little bit after it released, but Losing Grip is always one that hit me. I love that stuttered intro that just kind of draws you in, and you think, what exactly is going to happen here? And then it has that just very grungy chorus almost, with the way that she talks about how angry she is, and her vocals, especially as she sings lines like, I was so alone. It just carries out in a very angry, yet almost hurt type of way. And whenever she's able to convey herself that well on the opening track from her debut album, you knew that we have something special on our hands. What a talented singer, and a song like this is one of her more rocking, I suppose, especially in her early days. And it wasn't like rock in the sense of like pop punk on some of her later albums. This is more of just a straightforward post-grunge type thing with some loud, dominating guitars. And I love the breakdown of this track as well, because it changes the pace of the song totally, especially as there's like a little bit of a vocal flair and effect placed on Avril's voice as the song kind of transcends what you originally thought it was going to be. Such a special, well-crafted song, and one that I still hold is very special to me.
Love that once hung on the wall used to mean something, but now it means nothing. The echoes are gone in the hall, but I still remember the pain of December.
I was very surprised whenever I saw the unveiling of the track listing for 2013's self-titled Avril Lavigne album. Chad Kroeger was on there, and he was featured on this song called Let Me Go. And I was curious to know, what could this be? Is this going to be a hard rocking Nickelback type song? And instead, we got one of the best songs of Avril Lavigne's career, a haunting, epic tune, one that still gives me chills, especially as I listen to the outro of this song, which is extended, it's eerie, and it is perfect in the most atmospheric way you can imagine. A song like this is very unique in Avril Lavigne's discography because, yes, it is another ballad. Yes, it's another song where she puts the emotion on display. But that's, I think, why most of us love her in the first place, because she's able to do that in a very raw and intimate way that feels genuine. And a song like Let Me Go is just unbelievable. It speaks volumes about the talent that both of these people colliding had together for a song like this. Because, yes, Chad Kroeger was a part of it, but I love his verse here, and the way that they sing about the love that was once here in this house. It's all just fled away, and it once again gives you this dark theatric feel. And then the way that that climax hits you with a resolution to the song, and love's never too late is the phrase that we hear, and then that dark piano-led outro and a little bit of effect on the guitars and pianos and pedals that you hear. It's all very creepy, but all very, very perfect.
Won't you take me by the hand, take me somewhere new? I don't know who you are, but I'm with you. I'm with you.
Finally, coming to the number one spot, the pinnacle of my top 10 Avril Lavigne songs, we have I'm With You, a ballad from Let Go, her debut album. This song has always spoken to me over the years, and it's one that honestly can still bring a tear to my eye because I think about all of that frustration, that anger, and still some of that hurt and loneliness that piles up sometimes in your life and you don't know why you're feeling that way. This is this song for you. And whenever you have somebody that you can depend on for those feelings and you're able to relay them, she's singing I'm With You. It has been my favorite Avril Lavigne song for as long as I can remember, and it is still going to continue holding that top spot. What are your favorite Avril Lavigne songs? Sound off in the comments section down below. Let me know what other top 10s you would like to see me do. I got my top 10 Sum 41 songs coming very, very soon. And other than that, if you're able to support on Patreon, it would be greatly appreciated. Top link in the description down below. You can go directly to my Patreon by tapping that annotation in the card right there. I do have a Patreon exclusive podcast now. $5 a month unlocks that. If you would like to see another Avril Lavigne review, you can tap right here, or another recent pop review right over here. Social media can all be found linked in the description. And other than that, I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.